Here we go. Part 2 kicks off with Stimpy's invention for the Sega Genesis. To be perfectly honest with you, this game's actually kind of fun, you know. At least actually fun provided that you've got a friend who is willing to play it with you. This is the only one I know of that actually has multiplayer support and allows for up to 2 players. I sadly wasn't able to get a second person to play with me when I was recording this, so this is all just the single player style. Otherwise, it pretty much is one player plays as Ren, one player plays as Stimpy. And that really is about the only problem with this game is all of that little piddly-ass shit that you see in the foreground, like fences and all that, it oftentimes will block gaps that you have to clear. Otherwise, you basically are just you're playing as Ren in the single player mode, and you're pretty much just using Stimpy as a fucking weapon, doing everything from lobbing his nose like some sort of a pseudo like grenade to using him as kind of like that, yeah, riding him, you know, kind of like a horse. Using him essentially for kind of, you know, like a pogo stick. There's a bowling ball attack. There's a lot of those. The game is, though, you know, the game, if nothing else, is, oh yeah, that too. If you happen to be just bored, you can basically just corner Stimpy and just beat the high holy hell out of him. Anyway, this game actually, it actually is probably the most challenging one out of all that I am going to review. So to be honest, if you're actually looking for a challenging game, then this one actually is probably going to be right up, you know, like your alley, because it does have a little bit of difficulty to it. So, yeah, just actually to, you know, like, let you guys know on that. If you happen to have a Genesis and you happen to have, you know, like, one extra person who'd be willing to play this, yo, this game is just kick-ass. It's just actually a little bit difficult, and that actually might turn off some people. But I actually kind of had a good time playing it, so that means that, you know, surprise, surprise, I found 2 games in this entire set so far of 7 that are actually good. Oh yeah, there's sometimes a bit of a problem. If you happen to jump, if you happen to miss a jump, then you gotta wait for the other guy to come back. Yeah, and right there's a jackhammer move that, as far as I know, is only used here, and you have to make it past these walruses, which, once more, that's a reference to older episodes in the series, and I just squeaked past on that. And you can hear the Muddy Mud Skipper theme playing in the background here. That one actually seems to be one of the most prevalent songs in all of the games. Well, oh yeah, I completely forgot to explain the plot to this one. Well, okay, it is called Stimpy's, you know, invention. Essentially what you're doing is you have to go to all these different levels. Neighborhood, zoo, dog pound, you name it. And you're just collecting parts to Stimpy's bizarre, you know, invention. By the way, this part here is just a pain in the ass, but it actually is more of a challenge, because, well, essentially the water hurts you, the hippos can hurt you if you happen to hit them wrong, and it's just way too easy to just end up dead. And plus also, controls are just a little bit awkward, but still, you know, it's still kind of fun, guys. Try it out. And then we hit the polar opposite of fun, Time Warp for the SNES. This is some kind of a half-assed beat-em-up game that, similar actually to a whole lot of other games that I have reviewed in the past, such as, you know, like Wacky Races, it just feels kind of like Ren and Stimpy were just sort of tacked on at the, you know, like last minute. It has 3D that's somewhat, you know, questionable, and you know, when you're playing as Ren, the only weapon you've got is this you know, like slap attack, and you have to actually jump slap in order to kill bugs, which sometimes doesn't work because, you know, the 3D's kind of broken. These fences also are the same thing. You have to basically line up with you have to line up with just one of the planks and hit it. Otherwise, you basically are gonna get slapped and you're gonna get hurt. Now, I'm trying to pick up Stimpy here. Come on. You gotta be behind him and shoving, and then Now, you have yourself an extra little weapon as you square off against this level's boss. Oh, Jesus, come on. Alright, Ren, pick him up, pick him up, pick him up, pick him up! There we go. Man, that is a pain in the ass. Alright, and you almost think it's done? No, you don't have to take on a second dog. But he seems to die a little bit easier. Now comes the only cool part of this whole game, everybody. Now, we all are fans, so send out a sing-along. Happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy... Okay, enough of this. Yeah, this game... That pretty much is the only joyous part, is just watching them bump, like asses together. Now, this right here is probably... Now, this actually is as far as I've gotten, is this part of the second level. And, as you can see, I just keep on falling in there because the fucking, controls are just so goddamn awkward. And for fans of the series, this is the legendary Croco, Stimpy. And he kills you relatively easily. Now, let's just see exactly how this fight looks when you're not constantly falling down those manhole covers. Sun goes down, and out comes the Croco Stimpy from the sewers. Now, you have to sit there and slap him, and he reacts extremely quickly. So, he winds up, sucking up, like a ton of your health, and you really have no way of stopping him. To be honest, this game is just an irritating, annoying piece of shit, and I personally say that everybody really should just avoid it. So as we watch as I die, ladies and gentlemen, part 3 is coming very soon, so you guys just have to watch. I'll be covering 2 more games. Until then, just hang on.